Good afternoon. I got to see what I can do here in the next 15 minutes. My name is Emmanuel Joyner. Been a member of the Jamaat for about, I guess, 4 or 5 years. Time flies when you're having fun. I came to this position as a member of the community by way of a sister of the Jamaat who had a store on South 52nd Street. Mujahida. And I didn't know I was being recruited for the community, but she was a very spiritual person. Haven't met anyone like her, and I was truly amazed, and so amazed that I went and got my wife and brought her to meet her. And we would come on several Saturdays and talk to her, and she would just share with us generally what her religion was about. Not that I was foreign or strange to Islam, because from the age of 16, I was a member of the Nation of Islam. Sometimes they refer to as black Muslims in America. And that was my initial introduction to the religion. So when I listened to Mujahida and she gave her perception of Islam and how she saw the world, I didn't see it as contradictory to my own, but sort of a continuation of where I was. So I told her I'd come out, but I wanted to make sure I belonged to a community that was scholarly, and she assured me that I would find that. And I ventured to come out, and the next 5 years, you see I'm still here.
So what did you guys talk about mainly at the store? Like, is there any specific stories you remember, specific situations you remember that really caught you?
Well, she referred to me certain books. I read a lot, so I don't remember what those books were. But I think it had to do with Jesus and Christianity and the cross and Islam and those kinds of things. I was really impressed by some of the insight, some of the wisdom that was contained therein. So I looked at some of the reference material that were in those books, and that put me on a path to more readings. Mm-hmm. So the more you read, the more you want to read. So, and I'm still on that path. Matter of fact, when I finish here, I'm going to go speak to Brother Bilal and get some more books. But what has been very interesting during my stay here at the Jamaat is my connection with Humanity First. Strange how this happened. Before I even got in touch with Humanity First, I had my own nonprofit, 501c3.
So before you got, what was Humanity First?
Well, Humanity First is a nonprofit arm of, well, I'm not going to say a nonprofit arm of the Jamaat, but Humanity First is a nonprofit organization whose emphasis is helping people around the world, disaster relief. Okay. So, having said that, I have a nonprofit, and my thing is to help alleviate poverty through economic development in Africa. I got connected with Humanity First by way of, I imagine, your cousin, Fazan. And he said that he knew a donor who wanted to dig some wells in Ghana, and he asked me if I could do it. Fazan heard that I was a chief in one of the African villages. So I said, sure, I could do it. And little did I know that Fazan sat on the board of directors or trustees for Humanity First. So, to make a long story short, they asked me to dig wells in Ghana, 10 wells. They asked me to identify the sites where those wells would be constructed, and we did a pilot program in late 2008, November, December. I went out there, went to Africa, Ghana in particular, dug the well, and now I'm back preparing to go again in July. So my stay here has been very rewarding in that I've met a lot of exciting people, done a lot of interesting things. And so much so that the activity has attracted the attention of other members who also want to join me in going to Ghana and doing humanitarian work. So that's one of the things I do.
What's particularly special about Ghana? Why is it Ghana, not other countries?
Well, Ghana, for me, I started going to Ghana back in 1973. I think I just got out of college. And what took me there was, prior to 1973, while in high school, I met a lot of Africans who were here in the city of Philadelphia who had always encouraged me to go to Africa. And I said, yeah, I'm going to go. And they said, no, you're not going to go. You're just saying that. So I said, yeah, when I finish college, I'm going. So they had already went back to Africa and gave me their address. Little did they know that when I graduated from college, I got me a ticket, and I went to Africa unannounced to them, and I tracked them down in their respective countries. I went to Africa for 2 months and stayed a year.
Okay.
So I tracked them down, and I found them, and I developed an appreciation for Ghana because there they speak English. Crime rate is very low. Some of the most friendliest people I've ever met. And their culture is such that it's intact today as it was 300 years ago. So you get a chance to see the new and the old all in one
They
visit.
haven't been completely globalized.
They haven't, partially, in that you can go to a village and look at it the same way as it was 300 or 400 years ago, but at the same time, inside the hut that's in the village, you'll find a color TV. And outside the hut, you'll find an SUV. Now, how do you explain that? Very simply. The children of the parents who own the hut went to college, maybe in London, Oxford, come back and wanting to give wealth and for the fruits of their labor to their parents, bring a color TV. Parents don't care about color TV, so it just stays in the corner of the hut. But it's there. And so, you see those differences as you travel throughout the country.
And how do you see the Jamaat's influence on Ghana?
Very positive. At heart, I'm a social anthropologist. I have a degree in theology, and I minored in social anthropology. And I also have a degree in business as well. But what happens, as I travel throughout the country, there are plenty of Muslims there, but they seem to be in a very sorry state, especially in the northern part of the country. When I say sorry state, I mean they're illiterate and very poor. You haven't even seen poverty until you've seen poverty in some of the other countries. People here in America think they're poor, but they're really rich. But in any event, I would ask folks, I said, I would tell them I'm a Muslim, and they didn't give me much regard. Then I would let them know that I am Ahmadiyya. And they said, oh, Ahmadiyya. So I said, yeah, why do you respond such? He said, they would say, Ahmadiyyas, they're very sober people, they're very serious, and they're dedicated, committed. Other Muslims, they don't care about them. So I was curious as to see just how many people held on to that belief as I traveled throughout Ghana. And that seems to prevail. I got a chance to meet the Emir there in Ghana, and he would tell me stories about the influence the Ahmadiyya community has on the government of Ghana. And sure enough, I began to realize that the president of Ghana always recognizes the Emir in Ghana and seeks his advice. So I think it's safe to say that the Ghanaian government holds hands with the Ahmadiyya community in Ghana, and through that cooperation, Ahmadiyya has influenced the health standards, be it by way of hospital and health care, water sanitation, and a lot of other things that really benefited Ghana. I've also come to realize that the Caliphate has spent some time in Ghana, and he speaks very highly of it as well. So it all seems to work out.
All right, seems good.
All right.
All right, Jazakumullah.
Cool. All right. Very good.